America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides. We got a great show for you tonight, everyone. We don't have a ton of different things to talk about. It's been a fairly slow news day. We could talk about the New York City mayor race or the elections that happened yesterday, but we've kind of been covering that, and we'll go over a little bit of that stuff today. But we all know why Zoran won. But there is an interesting thing about it that I do want to talk about, and that will be the featured story of tonight, which is the divide between men and women when it comes to Gen Z and their values, their ways of voting, and what they believe in. So we're going to talk about all that today. I have a few different tweets I want to go over today, but like I said, it's going to be a more casual stream. I didn't even wear the suit today. We're just going to have some fun. That's what today is going to be about. So I hope you guys enjoy. Please remember to like and smash the follow button, smash the subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the show. We'll be reading the comments at the end of the show today. I know we got a good bit of those as well. And please remember to as well join our Telegram channel. Just scan that code up there in the corner to stay updated on all things America Unfiltered. You'll get updates, you'll get some funny jokes in there, whatever I'm feeling that day. So we'll talk about all this today. Like I said, we have a fun show for you guys, but the featured story today is the divide between young men and young women in this country. A statistic I saw today was almost 90% of all young Gen Z women in New York City voted for Zoran. And this comes in the very opposite direction for men, where men are rarely voting, or Gen Z young men, conservative Gen Z young men, are rarely voting for Zoran. And the majority of young men seem to be fairly conservative. Obviously, in a more liberal place like New York City, you're going to have a lot of liberal young men, but overwhelmingly in the country, the young men in this country are leaning conservative. They're turning back towards Christ. They're turning to traditional Christian values and traditional American values as well, something that's slipping away in real time. And another big factor that helped Zoran win, and we've spoke about this before, is the fact that New York City is filled with immigrants. And it's not just illegal immigrants, the legal ones. The legal immigrants tend to vote Democrat. And they tend to, if they're not going to vote Democrat specifically, they'll definitely vote for a fucking socialist, because most immigrants just want free shit. We could call that out. Most immigrants, what they want is free shit. That's why they come here. They can go to the hospital and not pay. They can get on SNAP, they can get on EBT, they can get on Section 8 housing, and they can get their entire life for free, essentially, on my taxpayer dollar. And that's one thing we definitely need to put an end to in this country. But right now, we have a huge problem, and it doesn't just exist when it comes to voting, although it is a big issue when we have a Democratic socialist getting elected as a mayor in New York, and that doesn't even talk about the fact that he's a fucking Muslim running New York City. I mean, that's crazy. It's fucking insane. It really upsets me that a Muslim is running New York City, especially after the 9/11 attacks and the multiple terrorist attacks that have happened on New York City. But yeah, the divide between men and women is only growing right now. And I see this in my real life. Like, I'm going to take it away from the New York City example and bring it to a real life example with my life, or just real stories from my life. But all the women my age, I mean, all the women who are between 22 and 26 or so, 22 and 28. I'm a 26-year-old, but all the women in my age range in Gen Z seem to be overwhelmingly liberal. And it's not like they're just socially liberal, they have a couple liberal policies, or they're the old-fashioned, like, I'm socially liberal, but I'm fiscally conservative. No, it's women who are overwhelmingly liberal, and liberal to the point that they're willing to accept anything and everything. I mean, they just want to please literally fucking everybody except for the men in this country, except for their future husbands. They don't give a shit about that. And it's going to get to a point in this country where, and it's already gotten to that point, I guess, where we're seeing just such a steep decline in marriage rates. And a lot of that we can tie to financial problems. I mean, I'm not going to hide the fact that it is a very shitty time in the economy. Everything is fucking expensive. Groceries were priced out of the housing market. Pretty much everything is going up in price, and wages are not seeming to increase. They're actually decreasing due to the rise in AI and stagflation and the mass migration of legal immigrants who will work for a lot less in shittier conditions for longer hours with no fucking breaks. because they have no other choice. It's either that or they get sent back to India or whatever fucking country they come from. And a lot of the immigrants who come in are from India. They are from China. They are from a lot of third world countries like Haiti, like Sudan, like Uganda, like, I mean, again, I don't have to fucking list them all, but you guys get what I'm saying. A lot of third world nations. And it's really leading to a lot of problems. I mean, that's kind of the financial side of why everything is getting so expensive. But to get back to, what the fuck was I saying? How did I just draw a blank? I had a good point there and I just fucking lost it. What was it? What was I saying a second ago? I'm 5 minutes into the show and I'm fucking up already. What the fuck? I was talking about men and women. I was talking about the divide and the gap. I started talking about marriage. And I said marriage was too expensive. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm back on track. Thank you to everyone who still bared with me through that right there. Sorry about that. Little brain lapse. It's been a long day. But yeah, men and women are also just so fucking different in values and in life goals. Like, men don't give a shit how much women make. I've said that before. It's not that controversial of a statement, but women fail to accept this. Like, I don't give a shit if you're a multimillionaire or if you're a waitress at fucking Applebee's. I just want a good woman. I want a woman who's going to be a good mother to my kids, who's not a fucking whore. A woman who's going to support what I do, and if I'm being honest, for lack of better words, not bitch me around. I don't want a woman who's going to start a sentence with, you should, or you should do that. Like, no. I'm the man of the house. That's how it's going to work. And that's the opinion of a lot of young men. The Bible and the Catholic Church teach that a man should submit himself to Christ and a woman should submit herself to the man in the same way he submits himself to Christ. And men overwhelmingly are starting to join back into the church, and they are starting to have these beliefs. Not only the religious side of things, but they also just want a more traditional woman in general. They've seen women go out and make absolute sluts of themselves. And it's not all of them, but it is such a great percentage that it has become very hard to find a woman who is worth dating, worth even taking on a date in the first place. Women expect so much, and they really offer so little. I mean, a woman offering you sex or saying that her company is good, like, that's not a good woman. That is a very shallow, low self-esteem slut. That's all that is. If a woman can't actually offer anything to your life, if she's not going to be cooking for you, helping you around the house, saying that she wants to be a stay-at-home mother to take care of the kids and instill religious and educational values in them, it's probably not a good choice for your life. And we're going to see this, steep decline get really fucking steep really fast as Gen Z, as we keep growing up, as we get into our 30s. So let's put this in a 10-year time frame. By the time I'm 36, there will be such a fucking gap of what men and women believe, and there will be such a steep decline in the marriage that it's almost going to be, it's going to be up to Gen Alpha to fix it, because we are absolutely fucked. And it's not saying that the Gen Z men won't be able to find wives. I never said that. I am saying, though, that the Gen Z women will have a very hard time finding husbands. Here's the thing: a lot of women weren't taught as kids in the Gen Z era. A lot of women weren't taught about their biological clock. And if they were told to ignore it, to go have a fun time at college, to go have a fun time in your 20s and not spend your 20s trying to find a husband. Let me tell you something, sweetheart. When you hit 30, your chance of getting married and having kids cuts in half. It goes to about 50%. And then as you get to 35, the chances of you having kids is slim and fucking none. I mean, especially when you push 40, sweetheart. So I'm urging all the young women who are still in their 20s or earlier in their lives to really make smart decisions and really think about their future, because a lot of the mothers don't seem to give a shit about what's going to happen to their daughters when they're 32 years old, they still haven't found a husband, and they are 3 years away from not being able to fucking have kids anymore. And it's not saying that every 35-year-old woman can't have kids. I mean, things like that do happen. But the chances are fucking slim, and I mean really slim. And young men, I mean, It's a problem for us too, but the big difference, and the reason I say this doesn't apply to men as much as it does women, is because men can marry younger. And women could marry younger as well, but it's not going to fix your biological clock. Men can get women pregnant into their 80s, sometimes 90s. Men can get women pregnant almost their entire lives for the most part, as long as they have healthy sperm. And that might be a problem as well for my generation because of they say 99% of men have microplastics in their balls and things like a lot of fucking weird things like that are going to hurt reproductive organs. So, again, my main point of this is just to urge young men. If you can't find women in Gen Z who are worth dating, giving time to, whatever, don't feel like you have to do it. Do not feel like it is your obligation to go marry a slut because you need to get married and want to have kids. What you can do instead is you can just wait. You can work on yourself for a few years. Take a piece of advice out of Myron's playbook. Work on yourself for a few years, become wealthy, become powerful, become influential in some way. Again, getting wealth is a key part of this. And it's not to say that like you need the wealth to get the women, although it does help. But it is to say that work on yourself, and when you put effort into yourself, it will translate to better success in all aspects of your life. And then when the Gen Alpha women or when the younger generations of women start turning to the age where they're in their young 20s, whatever you're looking for, it's fine to go after that, men. It is fine to find a wife who is not a whore, who is not a slut, who is fairly impressionable, and who will make a good mother, because that's what you should be looking for. And statistics are showing that the younger generation of women tend to act slightly less, promiscuous and slightly more Christ-like than a lot of the Gen Z women who just want to go out and act like complete and utter whores. And then there's also the trad cast. That's something you got to worry about as well. Women who acted like sluts their entire lives and then found Jesus at 28 years old after they fucked 80 guys in the entire football team, that's not your future wife. That's your future ex-wife. Don't deal with it. That will be a fucking headache and a half. She's going to boss you around. She's not going to actually want to tolerate anything you want to do. She is going to be a nightmare on your life. And also, soul ties are a fairly real thing. If you're fucking 80 guys, 50 guys, whatever it is, if you're fucking high numbers of people, you are not going to be able to have the same connection to your future spouse. So don't marry the trad cats. But for women, to bring it back to that, women, you guys really have to start setting a better example for the younger generations, because think about when you guys were little girls. I say this as somebody with like female relatives, etc. I've seen it in real time. They look at their older relatives, their older friends. You're a elementary school or a middle schooler, and you look at the high schoolers and the college kids, and you're like, oh, it's so cool what they're doing. Imagine if you guys were reading your fucking Bibles instead of snorting coke off some guy's cock at a frat. Your life would be better, and their life would be better in the long run if they didn't have terrible influences. Like when Gen Z girls grew up and they saw women like Nicki Minaj and Iggy Azalea, and I don't know, I don't even want to think about these whores, but when they saw them like twerking on walls and acting like complete and utter whores and rapping about their vaginas, do you think it set a good example for the young women, or do you think that's the reason we're in the situation we're in, where people my age have a tough time finding a good relationship because of the terrible influence? And a big part of the bad influence comes to social media as well. Social media is an awful influence on men and women. Men, you need to stop following these fucking whores on, like, the girls who are posting their bodies and pictures every fucking day. Just unfollow them. Half of them probably aren't even real. I have seen 3 different Indian guys on X talking about how they make like $30,000 a month just creating AI generated images of objectively attractive women and posting them on Instagram and having people send them money and making money through verification and ads. So it might not even be a real girl. So that's one reason, beyond just, I could talk about all the Catholic Church reasons to ignore that, but we all know those. I speak about those all the time. But when it comes to just real moral values, it's like, do you want to be a piece of shit who is wasting their time talking to women who don't give a fuck about you, who are not even real women in general? Or do you want to be a guy who is a high value male, the most elite human capital possible? Do you want to be somebody who is wanted, or do you want to be someone who wants? So again, men and women have very different paths to this because, like I said, men always have the ability to marry younger and still have that family. Like a 50-year-old could theoretically marry a 24-year-old, have a family, have a lot of kids, and live out the rest of their life pretty fucking happy. But a woman could never do that. A 50-year-old woman could never marry a 25-year-old man and still have children. That just would not happen. That's not how it works. Biological clocks exist, and ignoring your biological clock is only hurting you. And the lessons that your parents taught you to do that when they said, honey, it's fine, go to college, have as much fun as you want, and then don't even look for a husband after. You're so young, sweetheart, you have time. You don't really. You really fucking don't. I hate to be brutally honest with you. I actually don't. I kind of enjoy it. But you guys do not have fucking time. You really don't. You're running out of time, a lot of you. Most of the Gen Z women are starting to realize that their entire last 5-10 years of their lives have just been them acting like sluts and whores and kind of trash towards men, towards the dating scene, and towards themselves. There's, a lack of self-respect as well. So again, young women, my message to you is, well, real quick before that, and that's kind of why we're seeing we're seeing a revival in, women returning to the church as well. I'm not going to ignore that. I know I said there's younger women beyond Gen Z who are returning to the church, but there are some Gen Z women returning to the church. But those are the tradcaths that I was just talking about. It's the women who want to pretend they're traditional Catholics, but realistically, they were whores their entire lives. And again, it's not to say that you can't be saved by Jesus. You can. But it doesn't mean that a guy is still going to love you after. It doesn't mean a guy is going to love you as much as he'd love a woman who didn't fuck the whole football team before she went to confession. So you guys got to think about these things, and not thinking about these things is realistically only hurting your lives. It's not helping your lives. And again, I know I went off on a long rant about this when realistically it started with talking about, the divide of men and women in voting, but it applies, the poor values that women tend to have. And I'm not saying men don't. Men do have shittier values, but at least they have time. That's the difference. But the poor, shitty values that women in Gen Z seem to have are leading to them electing a democratic socialist. Most women don't fucking understand these things. Most women want this free shit because it's in their biological nature not to work. Women weren't meant to be in the workplace, and I'm sorry to break this to you, sweethearts, but the only reason that you guys are in the workplace is so the government can tax you. The government didn't want you to work until someone floated the idea out, hey, what if instead of getting one taxable income from the household, we got two? It doesn't benefit anyone in the world, not even women, for them to be able to work in society realistically. It benefits the government. Women would be far more benefited if they were having more children, getting in healthy relationships, being stay-at-home mothers, being educators. When I say educators, I don't mean they need to be pouring into schools to be teaching. I mean they need to be homeschooling more, because it's very obvious that the public school system is so fucking corrupted and full of woke indoctrination bullshit, and a lot of that is due to the women who are teaching in these schools. That's where a lot of the bad values start, is in the public school system. I saw this in real time as I went through the public school system. I saw a lot of women take advice from their whore teachers. Like, we all know the teacher, the one who is in her late 20s, early 30s, but still flirting with the football team, laughing at all their jokes, but then a weirder guy or a girl tells a joke and they don't laugh at it, and it's a way better joke, You guys know what I mean. Every school had those weird fucking teachers. Guys and girls it applies to, and the pedophile teachers need to be rooted out more than anything. Not to go off on that fucking tangent, you guys know what I think about that. But to wrap this up, I just want to say, again, we have to acknowledge reality, we have to acknowledge biology, and women ignoring their biological clocks is not only sinful, is not only disrespectful to your creator, but it is harming your life, and it is harming it a lot. And again, I'm not trying to break the hope of the women. Like, when I say women who fucked 40, 50 guys who then want to go marry a guy, I'm not saying it's impossible. There might be a guy who will accept that and love you. I wouldn't be one of them. I know most guys probably wouldn't be one of them. But at least at the at the very least, you should still try, for yourself, for your relationship with Christ, for the betterment of your mental health. You should definitely try, because just saying that, oh, I've been acting this way my whole life, I'm never going to get married anyway, I might as well keep acting like this, is it's like the same thing as a drug addict saying he could never get clean. Like, they can get clean, and maybe they won't have the best life after, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they have an incredible life after. Like, look at I forget his fucking last name, but Mike Maljek or whatever the fuck, the guy who works with Logan Paul, the guy was a drug addict. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I'm actually saying it in an encouraging way, of that he beat his drug addiction, and now he's a very famous person. He makes a lot of money. He has a lot of influence in the social media space and in YouTube and all that. And again, that's one of the better examples. There's also examples of people who were drug addicts or alcoholics who ended up cleaning themselves up to go work in a factory the rest of their lives, or work a babysitting job, or whatever the fuck it is. And you could just live a, fairly regular mediocre life, or not to say mediocre, but, below average life in a way. But your life will be so much worse if you continue down the path. Like, if a drug addict stays on the drug addict path, it's not going to improve their life no matter what. If you stay on the whore path, it is not going to improve your life. So, young women, I urge you to not only find Christ, but I urge you to find a husband. I urge you to find a husband who will support you financially, and you will raise the kids, you will educate them. That should be your goals and values. It shouldn't be to be this boss-ass bitch making $250,000 a year, because nobody's going to give a shit about that. No guy is going to give a fuck about your salary. And if they do, they're just kind of a faggot. They're kind of a pussy. You know what I mean? Like, they're not... I probably shouldn't use that. I shouldn't use that word. I shouldn't use that word on stream. Sorry about that. It just kind of came out. But you guys get my point. They should not... Like... Guys who are hyper focused on a woman's salary are either broke or retarded. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a broke guy, although you should try and get your money up. You should try and get wealthy, and you should try and get influence. That's very important. It's a process. The broke days are kind of what gives you the satisfaction of it. Andrew Tate talks about that a lot, but it's like, if you're just like born into it, or if you become like a crypto millionaire very young in your teens or whatever, you don't really experience the hardships on the way to getting rich that most successful people actually do. And that's why I'm saying that. It's like, it's usually the fucking weirdos and the burnouts and the losers. And I'm sorry I used that word too. Again, I know most of my viewers aren't going to give a shit, but I shouldn't be saying that on here. Shouldn't be saying that on Spotify and YouTube. That's not the best representation of what I should be putting out there. Kind of just came out. Whatever, we'll move on from that. I hope you guys are enjoying so far. We're going to move on from this segment. Like I said, I just wanted to briefly talk about why I think the divide between the voting is happening, and I think it stems from the shitty values instilled by parents into young women. A lot of women engage in a lot of fatherless behavior. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to show you guys some tweets that I had. I really only have a few we're going to go through, and then we'll go to the comments. Like I said, it's going to be a shorter show tonight. So this is the first one, and this really pissed me off because I feel like this could end up affecting me, but I hope not. But YouTube, Google are trying to take down anti-Israel videos after the Trump administration asked them to. Videos, documentaries off the platform. More than 700 videos documenting Israeli war crimes have been removed, according to The Intercept. Google confirmed the videos were removed as a result of the State Department sanctions against certain pro-Palestinian groups. This is just censorship. Saying that we in America cannot talk about the war crimes of our so-called greatest ally is fucking insane. And to any of the pro-Israel shills, how do you defend this? How do you defend this? Like, would you guys say that we can't show the war crimes of Hamas either? Because I'm not pro-Hamas. I fucking hate Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization. But a lot of the Zionists claim that anyone born in Palestine is going to be Hamas, is going to be a terrorist, that they're born that way. Similar to how Josh Sammer says that Europeans are born with anti-Semitism in their DNA. How do you defend saying we can't speak about war crimes when they're literally on video? Like, videos of war crimes are getting taken down and they're saying you can't speak about it. I want to ask any pro-Israel shill in my fucking comments, because I've had a few recently, how you guys support this. And if you guys aren't going to respond to this in the comments, don't bother commenting again, because you're obviously a fucking pussy and a coward. Spineless douchebag. We're going to go on, though. Like I said, it's going to be a fairly quick show. This is a quick video from Donald Trump that kind of shows you why this is happening.
Israel has never had a better friend than President Donald J. Trump. Israel has never...
That's why it's happening, because Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu are like this. Bibi's got Trump bent over the fucking table, pulling his hair back as he's fucking him from behind. America's being raped by Israel in real time. And it's if this doesn't make it obvious to you, I don't know what does. And we're going to keep proving it. This is another thing. Kash Patel's FBI says it cannot locate Israeli sniper Aaron Levitsky, who threatened to take out Christian influencer on X, claiming his country of origin can't be disclosed. I wonder which one it is. Is it the no extradition country that a lot of Jewish pedophiles will flee to? Yeah, most likely. He's probably in Israel being protected by Bibi Netanyahu, because Bibi Netanyahu is literally protecting the people who ram metal poles up Palestinian prisoners' asses and raped them to death. And it was on video. And the lawyer who leaked the video and talked about it got fired. I'm not even sure she's actually alive, because there was a report that she had been missing for 8 hours. There was a suicide note found, and then mysteriously, after it made the American media, she was found. But they never released a picture. They never released a message from her speaking, anything like that. And they are saying they arrested her and they have her in prison or whatever the fuck they have over there, because apparently leaking that your soldiers were raping people is against the law in Israel. They don't want that getting out. That's bad publicity for them. But yeah, Aaron Levitsky, the Jewish sniper, Israeli-American Jewish sniper, who was threatening Morgan Ariel, saying he was going to shoot her, piss on her grave, etc., cannot be located somehow, and the FBI is just cool with that. And then this is another thing. The University of Florida Turning Point chapter has banned members for hate speech after several expressed support for Tucker Carlson's interview with Nick Fuentes. And this is the message from them. Our group is committed to fostering a welcoming and respectful environment for all students, regardless of political affiliation. As a nonpartisan organization, we promote open dialogue, civic engagement grounded in mutual respect and shared democratic values. While we encourage diverse viewpoints and constructive debate, we will not tolerate hate speech, harassment, or rhetoric that promotes xenophobia, misogyny, racism, anti-Semitism, or any ideology rooted in discrimination or violence. Such behavior directly contradicts our mission and the values we uphold. In light of recent concerns and communications from university admin regarding individuals affiliated with far-right extremist movements and their threats towards members of the UF community, we are taking proactive measures to ensure the safety and integrity of our space. Any individual found engaging in or endorsing this type of rhetoric will be removed from the GroupMe. As Charlie demonstrated through his actions and words, including his clear rejection of figures such as Nick Fuentes during his campus tour, there is no place for hatred or intolerance in civil discourse. Our group will continue to be a space for informed, respectful, and inclusive. Does this sound like the conservative movement, or does this sound like a bunch of fucking woke retards? This is the fucking dumbest thing I've ever fucking read. I mean, this is fucking insane. And when they're like, when Charlie Kirk's clear rejection of Nick Fuentes, Charlie Kirk would have debated the kid who shot him. He would have debated any leftist that exists. He debated some of the most demonic leftists who said some of the most fucked up things. Someone even took it as far as saying, what if your daughter got raped, to Charlie Kirk about his infant fucking daughter? But he wouldn't debate Nick Fuentes, a Catholic, someone who would never say something like that, just because he knows that he took money from the Israel lobby and he could not go against them until they pushed him out. When Charlie Kirk's text messages were leaked, where he said that Israeli donors play into their stereotypes and that they are forcing him out of the pro-Israel cause. So yeah, I find this to be fucking insane that this is what they're doing. Again, it's just more censorship. I saw this. The reason I wanted to show it is because I made the same fucking joke. And I know this guy's not phrasing it as a joke, but I made a joke. I mean, it had to be like 50 episodes ago or so, where I said that the same group that committed 9/11, the Muslims, are now going to control New York City. And I got a lot of shit for it. I had a lot of people who were like, you can't say that. And like Eric Daughtry posted it, and not only him, Benny Johnson posted it as well. It's like, if someone who works that close with the White House can post it and get away, like, fuck off when you talk to me about it. It's like, are you fucking crazy? Like, it's a very true thing. We can't ignore that. If the official story that we're following is that Osama bin Laden and the Muslims did this attack, it's like, why the fuck would we give control of one of the biggest cities and biggest parts of our nation to Muslims again, especially to the same city they attacked? And I saw this as well. Marjorie Taylor Greene, known for her America First and anti-Israel stances, wants to run for president of the United States in 2028. I would love the male version of her to do this because, again, I mean, it might get shit for saying this, but whatever. I don't want a woman president. I would almost rather watch this country burn than watch a woman run this country. I don't think it would work. I don't think we would get respect from around the world, from all the major, like, do you think Putin's going to respect a woman? Do you think that Xi is going to respect a woman? Do you think that Kim Jong-un is going to respect a woman? And then also that another thing is, like, women, when they get in power, love to show their power. Like, if you've ever had a female boss, you get it. They're fucking nightmares to deal with. And it's not saying you can't have a male boss who's a nightmare, but female bosses overwhelmingly want to exert their power and show that I'm a boss-ass bitch. No, you're not. You're just a bitch. And it scares me that a woman in power would have access to the nuclear codes. Like, that's, like, literally she's going to be on her period one week and fire off a fucking nuke because someone called her the wrong thing. Like, it's just, we can't have it. We cannot have it. Like, we can't only have a president 3 weeks out of the month. Just can't fucking happen. This is a video from Candace Owens I saw as well. Like I said, we're just going to speed run through this. It's been a long day. It's a more casual show. Not a ton of fucking news going on. The only other thing that really happened was the guy from the Heritage Foundation is acting like a spineless coward and now saying, I'm so sorry, guys. I fucked up. I'm so sorry. I fucked up. It's like, you're a pussy. You had it right the first time, and now you're acting like a spineless fucking coward. But we're going to watch this quick Candace clip because this is interesting. If this is true. It looks to be true. Emily Austin, though, bullshit. Shut up, bitch. You're an Israeli shill who's literally on the payroll. You got $7,000 for that one word.
Ladies and gentlemen, there were, for whatever reason, 12 Israeli cell phones on the ground at Utah Valley University the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This has completely spooked the people that are very high up in government. Now, to be clear, I don't mean that there were 12 VPNs that were switched and routed through Israel on that day. I mean that there were 12 personal cell phone accounts that were opened in Israel, okay? Like, you go into Verizon in Tennessee or in Connecticut and you open your phone. I am saying that they opened their phones in Israel, those accounts in Israel, and they were on the ground on September 10th at Utah Valley University when Charlie was shot. Now, the NSA knows this. Kash Patel knows this. People in the current administration know this. Ladies and gentlemen, there were...
Yeah, fucking insane if that's true. I mean, if that's true, we can go right ahead and start blaming Israel for the death of Charlie Kirk. Again, I'm not 100% there yet. I want to see more evidence, not just Candace fucking saying it, but that's crazy. I want to show you guys this video as well. Again, like I said, we're not going to go too deep into anything today. We're just going to have a fairly surface level show. More of a just fun, relaxed show. But this is Mamdani giving his speech after he won. And this just proves my fucking point. He mentions everyone but the white people.
Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties. To every New Yorker in Kensington and Midwood and Hunts Point.
Yeah, he is going to be a mayor for the immigrants, not for Americans. And that's a problem. That's going to lead to real destruction. And what it really pisses me off is, like, I get it. A lot of the small business owners in Florida enjoy when more people move down here because it's more money for their businesses, etc., more customers. But at the same time, Florida's so fucking crowded already, and they're having to chop down all the wildlife to make more room for houses. The traffic is fucking abysmal. I don't want the fucking New Yorkers moving here. I don't want the shitty New York drivers and the annoying New Yorkers to move here. I don't. There's too many of them already. And that's coming from someone who grew up in fucking New Jersey. And this will be the last thing we show. Maybe we'll go through X for a second to see if there's any thing on the timeline. But this is a video or a audio recording of someone speaking to the Heritage Foundation because they're now saying they want to hold a mandatory Shabbat dinner. That's a dinner on Saturday nights. It's part of Jewish tradition. And they're doing this because of the announcement the Heritage Foundation made that got overwhelming backlash from the Zionist community, and they threatened to pull a ton of funding. So we watched this guy fold like a spineless fucking coward.
Thank you, Mike. That's a hard act to follow, but you did a really good job. And I just want to say I'm grateful for all of our colleagues who are speaking out today. And especially for our colleagues on the National Task Force to Combat Anti-Semitism, I'm especially grateful for their work. I also have a question about it, given some of the leaks that occurred yesterday. Right now, the National Task Force to Combat Anti-Semitism is demanding that Heritage host Shabbat dinners with Heritage interns and junior staff. The faith of many Christians here at Heritage, myself included, would prevent us from attending these dinners in good conscience. As you know, for many Christians, Friday is a special day of prayer and abstinence to commemorate the death of Christ. I assume that no staff will be required to attend the Shabbat dinners, but my concern is that these dinners will be to serve as a sort of informal litmus test. And I'm worried that they will hurt many Christians who are not anti-Semitic but don't feel comfortable attending a Shabbat dinner. I would like to know how you guys would respond to that concern and how we can be sure that the dinners won't be used that way when the people requesting them or someone has already been leaking them to the media.
Yeah, and now they're trying to get this guy fired for this. It's fucking insane. He's being fired because of his Christian beliefs. We're going to pull up just our regular timeline here, see if anything is just on the timeline to talk about. Yeah, okay, let's watch this fucking... This is the guy, Kevin Roberts, the spineless fucking coward. Let's watch this little message here.
Term venomous coalition. A terrible choice of words, especially for our Jewish colleagues and friends who understand that, given history, to be a trope used against them. And I very sincerely, very, very sincerely apologize to you in particular and to all of you for using that. It was not my intention to use a trope. I should have been better, so I hope you understand that. But I have to be better at being aware of those things. My closest Jewish friend in the world, Yoram Hazony, has flown to DC this week in part to help me with this, personally and professionally. He does not have to do that. And he may decide after we meet later today, you know, Roberts, you're not worth it. And I told him last night.
This guy's trying to save his job. That's all this is. He realizes he's about to get fucking canned, and it's going to happen anyway. You shouldn't have apologized like a spineless fucking coward. Let's see if there's anything. I stand with Brett Cooper. Yeah, so do I. I love doing this. Yeah, every time we see the Krasenstein brothers, we're going to remind the world that they used to own disgusting child porn websites. Dude, Brillin Hollyhan is so fucking out of touch. This guy is such a fucking shill and a retard. Yeah, that's going to be the... That's going to be all we go through today. Let's see if any headlines are here before we go into our comments. We went over this yesterday, talked about that. Yeah, that's going to be all. That's going to be the entire show. We're going to go into the comments I do want to thank everyone who's been watching to this point. Remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the show. It's been a shorter show, but it's been a fun one, hopefully, for you guys. Let me just close out these tabs, get the comments pulled up, and please remember to join the Telegram channel as well. We're going to have some fun in there. Let's see, getting the comments pulled up. I know we got a good bit of them. Let's see, someone said, they keep saying anti-American. This is America. We have freedom of speech. Hate speech is free speech. Trying to silence someone for what they say is, in fact, anti-American. They're so exhausting and literally the ones peddling hate. Yeah, I don't even think it was hate speech, though. I mean, I agree with you, but it wasn't even hate speech what they were saying. And hate speech laws are fucking insane. The idea of that is crazy. I understand if you want to, limit people's ability to say, like, I'm going to do X to this person. Like, that should be illegal. Threatening somebody, that should be illegal. But just saying, like, I don't like this group, like, that's not illegal. That should never be illegal. That's our right. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate you tuning in. Someone said, do you support the things Nick supports? Yes, America first, bitch. America first. Let's fucking go. Someone commented in fucking Yiddish or Hebrew or whatever the fuck. Again, you're not going to disrespect my Lord. Christ is King. I'm not even going to read your full comment because you're a schmuck. Just speaking your little Yiddish language. But yeah, the King is Christ. Christ is the Messiah. The prophecies of the Old Testament were fulfilled. Fuck off. And again, I said debate me or shut your bitch ass up. And you're still not debating me. You're just writing Yiddish in my fucking feed. Someone goes, let's get a charity boxing match between Tucker, Mark Levin, Nick, Ben, and Laura Loomer and Candace Owens as ring girl. Ugh, Laura Loomer as a ring... Ugh. I would pay not to see Laura Loomer as a ring girl, but if we're going to do a charity boxing match, I'm in on that. I mean, I literally train MMA 5 days a week for when this happens. I so badly want to start a political boxing. Like the same way they started celebrity boxing. Think about political boxing. Like there's a market for that. There is. And people would and I'm not saying a lot of people, but people would elect politicians who kick ass. That would happen. I mean, if politicians are like literally kicking the shit out of other politicians in a sanctioned fight, like a legal sanctioned fight that people could gamble on as well, that would fucking do numbers. I mean, especially if you did it for charity. I mean, you could really make some real money. And even if you didn't do it for charity, if you just said, like, we're going to put all the money down towards the debt, we're going to put all the money down towards student loan payments for, people, like, whatever, like, it would do fucking numbers. And I think that would be a great idea. Someone goes, clown, you're a pussy, shut the fuck up. Someone goes, Nick has been kicked off YouTube and Spotify. Yeah, it's actually very fucking corrupt. They allowed pretty much everybody back on except for him. But that Spotify account wasn't his, though. It was under his name, but it wasn't him. He confirmed that was not him who started it. Someone goes, just discovered the show and it's quickly becoming a favorite. Keep up the good work and God bless. God bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless you and your family. Thank you for tuning in. I truly appreciate that. It means the world to me. Someone goes, Ben Shapiro likes... I don't know if I could say this. Allegedly, Ben Shapiro likes small children on islands. Why does my Canadian Prime Minister walk around like he has a blown-out asshole? Send in SEAL Team 6. Yeah, that's above SEAL Team 6's pay grade. And then he goes, makes sense if the remaining Canadian men get thrown in gulags and an Indian dude becomes prime minister, just Samson option us, bro. Like, you don't want to get it, dude. Just move to the United States. What do you, like, what's keeping you in that shit third world country? Just move to a free nation. I don't even want more immigrants, but I feel bad for you, brother. Appreciate you commenting. Appreciate you tuning in. I had to say allegedly because I'm not getting kicked off this platform for that. Someone... Dude, you're raping me again? You just commented 40 more Israeli flag. Again, this is non-consensual rape, and you're just kind of a seething pussy. Again, debate me or shut your bitch ass up. Someone goes, debate Sam Cedar. I would love to. If anyone can help set that up, I would love to do it. I was a cunt hair away from debating Mehdi Hassan, but I broke my fucking arm like 2 weeks before, and I ended up just canceling it because I was supposed to be on the Jubilee Far Right episode. And for anyone who is, just tuning in recently, I was on Jubilee before on the mass deportations episode as well. Feel free to go check it out, Jubilee Mass Deportations Middle Ground episode. Maybe one day I'll do a reaction to that. I never did that. But I tried to do a reaction to the Far Right one, and they fucking copyrighted me. But it might have been because I did it right after they released it, and they usually like to have a few weeks of, their channel getting the attention. They're like that sometimes, but I like Jubilee. They're pretty... What I like about Jubilee is they give a voice to people like me. There's not a lot of people, not a lot of groups, YouTubers, there's not a lot of media companies, especially ones based in Los Angeles, who are giving voices to people like me, Pine Sap, Doomer Nat, Sarah Stock, Kai. So that was great. But yeah, and they had that fucking Iranian guy on the far right thing. Like, he probably took my fucking place after I canceled. Like, they had to be they had to be filling seats or something, because those weren't fucking far right. Like, there was a lot of weirdos on that fucking side. I'm gonna be honest. But if anyone could set up a Sam Cedar debate, again, I'll debate almost anybody. Like, the people I won't debate are people who debate in bad faith. Anyone who is just gonna use like cheap turn of phrase tricks and like bullshit and like I'm not saying I wouldn't debate Dean again. I've debated him before, but like when he debated Nick and he was like, would you, like, if God commanded you to rape and kill a baby, would you do it? Like, it's like, shut your bitch ass up. Like, shut up. Your fucking stupid hypotheticals only make you look more retarded. So as long as someone debates in good faith, I'll do it. I also debate on TikTok a lot. I debate on StreamYards, X Spaces, mainly on StreamYards, though. I gotta start recording those and uploading them. I really just do it for practice. I don't even record them most of the time, but I'm gonna start doing that. Maybe I'll start uploading them. We'll go to the next comment. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate you. Someone goes, by the way, Fidel, Fidel is the fucking guy who keeps commenting about, he's a Zionist, obviously. But he goes, by the way, Fidel, you're a retard who obviously doesn't listen to the entirety of the show. It's not anti-Israel to show or speak the facts and stats about Israel and their corrupt involvement in my country and politics. They are leeches. Yes, they are leeches. They are definitely leeches. We should have no relation to the corrupt terrorist state of Israel. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you defending me and America First. Someone goes, Gen X from Finland here, listening to every show. You are doing good. Hope your show grows fast. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, sir. Or woman. I don't know. You have a woman name, but a male picture. So I don't know what the fuck to call you. But thank you. I appreciate you. I really appreciate that. And yeah, the show it seems to be hitting the algorithm in just the right. We're hitting the G spot of the Spotify algorithm right now. We're growing. We're growing. And keep reviewing the show 5 stars. That helps. Like a lot of, apparently it helps. I had a wave of Zionists give me 0 stars. And it's like, to be honest, I don't give a fuck what my star rating is. I do not give a shit. But Spotify sometimes does. So, and it's not even like the Spotify algorithm, I guess, cares that much. It's more for like new viewers when they start tuning into the show and they're like, oh, the show is like a 3-something rating. Is it that good? You guys got to think about the fact that like on a political show, there's going to be people who watch it who are just straight opposition, who are going to just give it 0 stars without actually giving it a chance, because a lot of people call me far right, and I would kind of agree in a lot of ways, but at the same time, you could call me an aggressive moderate. You could say that all my policies stem from the idea that we have betrayed our founders' intentions and we want to put America first. And if that's far right, then that's fucking crazy. Like, you could say some things I say are far right, but at the same time, you have to be able to acknowledge that wanting to put America first and wanting to abide by our founders' intentions is not far right. That is just being inherently patriotic and American. Like, it's fucking crazy to me. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate you tuning in. Remember to rate the show 5 stars. Someone goes, question, did Shabbat, you didn't even spell his name right. This is Fidel, you fucking idiot. Question, did Shabbat Kestenbaum say, you didn't spell either of his name right. You're just retarded. Say Israel first or Jew first. Then you say, I love Jews. I just have a problem with Israel. In your own words, you proved you're an anti-Semite. And if you're going to say, I don't care what people call me, so be it. But don't lie and say you like Jews. You do not. Beyond. Again, that's retarded. I have multiple Jews in my life that I'm friends with and that I'm related to. and I'm very close with them. And to be honest, they're some of the biggest supporters of this show and agree with a lot of the things I say and what Nick Fuente says. And yes, I do think single issue voters are a problem. If you are putting your Jewish heritage or whatever the fuck you want to call it, because they say it is a heritage, although it is a religion as well, it is an ethnicity at a point. If you're going to put that as your single issue voting point, if you're going to, like the same way when women say, like, we want to kill children, when they say that, and Spotify, I'm not saying that, but when women want to have these abortions, which is the largest genocide to actually ever happen in human history, is what has happened to babies by the hands of their mothers and these abortion doctors. We have to apply the same standard to everyone else. And if people are saying that they're going to put their Jewish faith first and vote in that way, and they're going to vote for whoever wants to support Israel so they have a backstop if, shit ever hit the fan for them, like, that's not something I'm okay with. What I expect is full assimilation. I expect everybody who lives in America to assimilate to American culture. So for you to say I'm an anti-Semite just proves that you're a low IQ fucking retard and don't actually listen to the show. So go fuck yourself. Hope you have a good day, though. Someone goes, I love how every positive comment has like a thumbs down from this fucking retard who cannot stop seething. But this person goes, been binge watching your show since I found your channel last month. Much love from Canada. Any thoughts on how trashed we're getting up there with, there's a flag there, but it's, let me see if I could fucking zoom in. That's so small. I can't even see. Is that an Indian flag? I'm going to guess it's an Indian flag because you're talking about Canada. But it's literally like the size of a fucking cunt hair. I mean, it's fucking tiny. I can't see it. It's getting massively out of control. Yeah, I think mass migration is getting out of control everywhere. And like a lot of people, a lot of countries specifically there, they don't assimilate. They don't assimilate well. Tyler Oliveira is a very good example of this. Tyler Oliveira went to India to film their shit throwing festival. And for people who are like, what is that? It's a literal festival where they throw elephant shit at each other and they celebrate it. Documented it and is now being called an utter racist and like is getting his life threatened and all this stuff. It's like, no, he's not a racist. He's just someone who exposed a weird fucking thing that happens in another country, and we don't want the people in that country overwhelmingly importing into ours. And it's not to say that every Indian person is going to be like that. There are also a lot of good Indian people, a lot of good Indian Americans, I could say. But at the same time, we also have to acknowledge that the people living in India do not assimilate well into American culture for the most part. There are, again, always going to be exceptions to the rules, but it's usually the Christian and Catholic ones who assimilate better. But yeah, I don't know a lot about Canada relative to a lot of the Middle East stuff, Asia stuff, European stuff, American stuff, but I do know that it's a problem. So, and I do know in general, mass migration is a massive, like Canada's a third world fucking country. Again, I urge everyone in Canada to get the fuck out, move to America, or move somewhere that actually supports you, because Canada's a third world nation where they will take your rights away for speaking. They'll put you in jail for speaking. Someone goes, keep it up, my man. You're young, so I get it. But if you have a desire to go mainstream, try to limit the words they can take out of context to make you look insane. Yeah, I actually kind of agree with you in a lot of ways. I go back and forth about, like, should I limit jokes here and there, and I tend not to. But today I did let a word slip that people are going to fucking hate. And I know, like, a lot of my viewers are just going to look at it as, like, oh, it's like, whatever. We grew up in the COD lobby era. I was called that 47,000 times a fucking day when I was just 9 years old. And I grew up just saying it casually. It's like the Michael Scott thing. It's like you don't call a gay person it, you call your friends it. It's like, it's that same joke. But people are going to get mad about that. But, like, I do my best to try not to, but at the same time, I don't have a script. I don't have a speech written. Literally in front of me, I have one post-it note that says the gap between men and women. That's it. That's all I have in front of me today. I don't plan what I'm going to say. I just speak off my mind and what I know and what I've done research on. But yeah, so I kind of agree, but at the same time, some of it gets hard because it's a lot of just like, in the moment, in the moment, I gotta remember. And sometimes when you're in the fucking zone, when you're riffing, you're ranting, you're cracking jokes, you're having a fun time, sometimes you fall back into that 2011 COD lobby where you're just like, fuck you, like, you just fall into it sometimes. We're going to go to our YouTube, see if we got any comments there. That was everything on Spotify. Again, I want to thank all of our Spotify listeners. Please remember to rate the show 5 stars, follow as well. I really appreciate it. And remember to join the Telegram channel. Let's go over to our comments on here. Where the fuck are they? Someone goes, "You are awesome." Thank you. You are awesome. You are awesome. You're the awesome one. Thank you. I appreciate that. Where the fuck are the rest of the comments? There was more, and now I'm not seeing them. Give me one sec.
We are back, baby.
Give me one sec. I'm pulling them up. Maybe there wasn't. Maybe I'm just retarded and tripping, but we're going to check it out. We're going to see. Like, am I a fucking idiot? Am I missing something here? Am I missing this? Okay, here we go. Someone goes, "Great show, America first. America first till we fucking die. There will be no exceptions. There will be no contingencies. We will not give them an inch. America first till we die." Someone goes, "This guy is a complete clown. He's a seething retard." And someone goes, "Nah, James is cool. Shut the fuck up." Based. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. That's based. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we are growing fast. You know, people are seeming to love it. I've gotten hundreds of followers on Spotify in the last month. A lot of new ratings as well. We're going to refresh the page one more time, see if there's any new comments that popped up while I was filming. No, that seems to be it. That seems to be them all. So we're going to sign off today. Hope you guys enjoyed the shorter show. Hope you guys enjoyed the... actually, it's not... it's like a fucking hour still. Usually they're like an hour and a half, but it's not that short. But hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys enjoyed the channel. Hope you enjoy the content. Please remember to like, smash the follow button, smash the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the show. We'll read the comments at the end of the show tomorrow. And again, please remember to join our Telegram channel. And actually, the guy didn't leave a message, but one guy sent me a $5 super chat. I want to tell you how much I fucking appreciate you. Thank you. I've gotten very few super chats, and I don't really expect them, but the only thing I do ask for, you know, with them is I am writing a book, and I will be done with it, you know, 2 to 3 months into next year, hopefully, is my goal. It could take a little longer. Again, it's a fucking bitch of a process, but the problem is nobody in the publishing space is going to want to push this through for the most part, because... And maybe there will be like a really based publisher, but it's going to be hard to find. And at the same time, I really don't have the money to fund it. So if anyone wants to help me fund this, feel free to super chat me. I will not only celebrate your super chats, I'll read it out on the show. I'll even, for all super chats from here on out, I'll do like a little text to speech thing with your message, so it just reads out to everybody with your donation, etc. I really want to show support to super chatters if they are willing to, or if they feel like they will. But yeah, we're going to sign off today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Hope you have enjoyed the content. Thank you guys. What is it today? Wednesday? Hope you guys have a great Wednesday night, and we will see you guys tomorrow on Thursday. Thank you.